Okay.
Low-speed vehicle meant they didn't have to meet nearly as many DOT regulations, so they could go ahead, skip that expensive part of the development process, sell cars early, and use that car sales money to fund the development of their high-speed car that did have to meet all of those DOT and safety regulations. That high-speed car they were developing was this, the WeGo Life. WeGo sold whips starting in 2009, and they sold Lives from 2011 to 2013. All total, WeGo made around 300 whips and just under 100 Lives. That means this WeGo Life is rarer than a Bugatti Veyron, or a Saab 9 4X, or a Bugatti EV110, or a Jag XC220. Really, the list goes on. This is an extraordinarily rare car. But it's enough with the boring specifications in history. It's time to tell you about all the benefits this little electric car has to offer. First and foremost, this car is good for the environment. Now, obviously, since it's an electric car, it doesn't burn any gas, and therefore doesn't produce any direct tailpipe emissions. But also, if your power comes from a renewable energy source, such as hydro or solar, powering this car creates no pollution at all. The car even comes with this handy power consumption graph in the shape of some trees, so you can always tell just how environmentally friendly you're being at any given point while you're driving. With a range of just under 100 miles, it has more than enough range to keep your anxiety at bay. Sure, it may not have enough range to be your only car, but it's certainly adequate to be an urban runabout, or a grocery getter, or a commuter car. Shoot, even a modern smart EQ only has a range of 60 miles. It's an electric car, so your general maintenance on this thing is going to be drastically reduced over a combustion-powered car. You don't have to do things like oil changes. And your brake pads last a lot longer than they would on a combustion-powered car because the WeGo, like most electric cars, has regenerative braking, which uses the motor as a generator when you let off the go pedal to reduce speed in the car and charge the batteries a little bit. It is a usable car. It has 2 seats and a decent amount of cargo space in the back, given its diminutive size. It certainly has more cargo space than the comparatively sized Smart 4.2. The passenger seat even has mounting points for a child's car seat and the ability to disable the airbag, so you can haul one of those tiny dumb people if you so choose.
316.
There may not be any cruise control, but the top speed is electronically limited to 65 miles an hour, so you can cruise on the highway all day happily with your foot welded to the floor, never worrying about breaking the speed limit's 55, of course. It has 3 different drive modes that allow you to optimize your driving experience. Leave the shifter in drive for normal mode and you get the medium selection of accelerative ability and minimal amount of braking.
3 dicks to the house.
Activate economy mode and you get slightly reduced accelerative ability and maximize regen to prolong the life.
316.
Put the shifter 1 notch down into S for sport mode and you get maximized accelerative ability and minimal regen braking. But hang on, I'm not done. Unlike most other cars, the WeGo
Oh, what the poop. Still being able to do that, guys. I did it last week.
It's just a matter of putting the shifter into the S position while having the WeGo button pressed in. This gives the car maximized acceleration and maximized regen. And since I like both of those things to be maximized, this is how I choose to drive my WeGo most of the time. It has such modern conveniences as air conditioning, AM/FM radio, power windows, power mirrors, power locks with remote entry, tire pressure monitoring, and a digital dash that shows you the amp draw or gain on the battery, the state of charge, the battery voltage, your current power consumption, and your current speed. Safety features like dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, and 4-wheel disc brakes. Overall, the WeGo is a usable electric city car with adequate range and enough features to keep the average car buyer satisfied in daily use. It's an interesting prospect on paper. It's just too bad the whole car is an atrocious pile of garbage and easily the worst new production car sold in the United States in the past decade, maybe even the past 2 decades. Allow me to explain.
21 to 24 and interested in free college? Say no more to FOMO. For a limited time, get your degree tuition-free. Pursue your passion, your purpose, and a bigger paycheck. Learn how at michigan.gov/reconnect.
Get Febreze car. It gets consistent freshness that lasts for 40 days. Let's start with the origin of the car's body. WeGo was a small cash-strapped car maker. They didn't have the resources to design and build an entire car from scratch. So they bought the body shell from an existing car manufacturer, much like Tesla did with the original Roadster when they bought the body shell from Lotus. Now, this can be a fine approach, but the manufacturer WeGo bought from was Chinese car maker Shuangwan. And the body they picked was that of couple of years, this would become clear.
Who are you?
Yeah, it's all perfect.
I don't know what that even is.
Not quite as bad as the religion, but there's no nose for clown. There's some weird
Look at that ice stuff happening right now. That ice peeling thing. So yeah.
It may be hard to see on camera, but the left side has this curvature going into the rear window that just doesn't exist on the right side. And this door, yeah, it doesn't feel properly. You can even see through the window here that the steel isn't even touching the door. It does on the other side. This door says, now, you're going to get wet in that car wash. The bottom of the doors don't seal well either. They let in a sizable draft when you're going down the highway from both doors. Surprisingly, though, the panel gaps around the doors and indeed around the whole car is actually they're pretty decent. You can see here that it's even all the way to the bottom of the door. It's the same way for most of the rest of the car. But that's just the exit.
I'll finish this up later, guys.
The car would have been hard, cheap plastics making a bit to the interior because it gives the car a feeling of cost cutting. Well, friends, let me tell you, the window interior takes that feeling to a whole new level. Not only is every bit of this interior made of cheap, horrible-to-touch plastics, it's also all falling apart. Every bit of this interior is either warped, broken, falling apart, or ill-fitting in some way. And I do mean all of it.
Part 8, part...
The dash is cracking already. This whole area is massively warped. The holder for this vent is warped so much that it's just falling out. What's even going on with this area? And I could go on like this for quite some time. So I will. Here's your full tour of the interior. It all starts to go wrong the instant you get in the car. Once your buddies create the work truck grade vinyl seats that have all the comfort and ergonomics of an upturned bucket wrapped in a blanket. And on top of being not very comfortable, they're also tearing already. The next thing you want to do is reach for your seatbelt. This is when you'll discover it's about a foot further back than it should be, causing you to have to contort yourself just to be able to reach the stupid thing. Already the lack of attention to detail is starting to show. Moving to the dash, I'll start with the climate controls. It's just 3 knobs and a slider. The center knob is also a button that switches between the heat and air conditioning. Fine, right? Well, no. The knobs feel cheap, which is a small issue. What isn't a small issue are these labels around the knobs. For whatever reason, these labels are printed in a recess around the knobs. This means you can't see what's printed on most of the labels unless you look at the knobs dead on. You can't see most of this labeling from any other angle, including your seating position, which is annoying. Just below the climate controls is the radio. This is just some cheap radio they bought off the shelf for people sold into the factory. It's a total afterthought. Just below the radio is a power outlet and the rear window defroster switch. Just above the climate control knob is one of 3 climate control vents in the dash, and just above that is this tray. This tray insert in this third cap and whole surrounding area are quite for 2 times as much as when I got the car 2 years ago. Down to the left of the steering column is the fall plate switch. It's surrounded by this incredibly working piece of plastic that likes to fall off all the time. The Wigo does not have a glove box, but it does have this nice curved piece of plastic that is completely hollow and serves no purpose other than to ape the appearance of the dash in the smart car. Just below that is the airbag. On the steering wheel, there's 2 horn buttons, one on either side, and an airbag in the middle. Just off the